So this concept is very important, and we will first see this question. A 2 kg block is placed over a 4 kg block. So if we consider a 4 kg block, suppose this is ground, we have a 4 kg block, and over which we have a 2 kg block. Okay, so suppose this is capital M, that is 4 kg, and the small m 2 kg. Both are placed on a smooth horizontal surface. The coefficient of friction between the blocks is 0.2. Coefficient of friction between the blocks is 0.2. Find the acceleration of the two blocks if a horizontal force of 12 Newton is applied to upper block and to lower block. So this is a question. So if 12 Newton horizontal force is applied, what will be the condition? What will be there? What will be accelerations? If the 12 Newton applies on the first case is applied on the upper block. So if it is applied on the upper block, okay. So from the ground there is no friction. Coefficient of friction between the block is this, and ground is smooth. Ground is smooth, and between this it is new. Okay. So if you pull it, what will happen? So there are two things which can happen. If you pull it, either the upper block will slide together with lower block, or the upper block will slide over the lower block. Either these two blocks will have combined acceleration, common acceleration, they will slide together, or they may slide with different acceleration, or they will slide over each other. So these two conditions can occur, and if which condition will be there, that will be decided by the value of friction, whatever friction is acting here. So this friction will decide whether they are going to slide together or they will slide with different acceleration. If friction is large enough, then they will slide together. The friction will not be overcome by the forces. And if the friction is small, then the two blocks will start sliding over each other. They will have different acceleration. So how to solve this question? So first we consider the two blocks are moving together. So assumptions first we have to take. Assume m plus small m move together. Capital M plus a small m move together. If they move together, what will be acceleration? Acceleration will be F by m plus m. So 12 Newton divided by m plus m, that is 12 Newton divided by 2 kg plus 4 kg. So we are getting 2 meter per second square. If they are assumed to move together with common acceleration, the common acceleration will be this much. Now we have to check whether this is possible or not. So how do we check it? So first we will see what is the maximum friction which we can have here. Maximum friction force. So maximum friction is how much? The mu times normal here. So that will be mu times normal, and mu is how much? 0.2, and normal here is, since it is 2 kg, the normal here will be equal to how much? 20 Newton. So if we write that 20 Newton, we are getting 4 Newton. So this is the maximum friction which we can have here. If for this acceleration, the friction is exceeding this value, what I'm saying is, if for this acceleration, the friction is not able to have this particular friction is exceeding this maximum force, there will be sliding. So I'm giving the numerical calculation. So this is the acceleration. So on upper object or lower object, anyone we can write the, for anyone we can write the equation. So if you write for lower object, if you write for lower object or for capital M, it is accelerated with this one. So what is the accelerating force here? The friction in forward direction, and here the friction will be in backward direction. Friction in backward direction on the upper object and friction in forward direction on the lower object. So this friction in forward direction is only force in horizontal direction on the capital M mass. On capital M mass, this is the only horizontal force. This is the only force which is trying to move the capital M mass in horizontal direction. So the friction is coming how much? mass m, only one force along horizontal, so only friction, mass m into acceleration. So mass m is 4 kg and acceleration is 2 meter per second square. So we are getting 8 Newton. So friction is 8 Newton. So friction is 8 Newton for this acceleration, but the what maximum friction we can have? The maximum friction which we can have is only 4 Newton. It means the object will not be able to move together. The object will slide. The friction for combined motion is coming greater than F max, which is not possible. Not possible. The friction for combined motion is coming greater than the maximum friction force. So this is not possible, and if it is not possible, it means the object will slide separately. So we can write, say, therefore our assumption is wrong, and objects will slide with different acceleration. With different accelerations. Okay, object will slide with different accelerations, and therefore, if they are sliding with different acceleration, now we can write for m, for small m. Now they are sliding with different acceleration. Then what we can do is, since they are sliding now, the friction force will act at maximum value. The friction will act at maximum, because this is now kinetic friction. This has become kinetic friction. The maximum value of friction will act now. The maximum value. Okay. So for the small m, if we write the forward direction force F, backward direction friction force F max will act equal to mass into acceleration of upper object. Suppose this is A1. So A1 will be F minus F max divided by M. So capital F is how much? 12. And friction is how much? 4 Newton, the maximum friction, divided by mass of our upper object, 2 kg. So that is how much? Equal to 4 meter per second square. So for upper object, it will be 4 meter per second square. For lower object, if you see, for lower object, for capital M, if you see how much it will be, only one force in horizontal, that is friction. So friction, and that at maximum value, divided by capital M mass. So friction is 4 Newton divided by 4 kg. So it will be 1 meter per second square. So what we are getting is the upper object accelerates at 4 meter per second square. The lower object accelerates at 1 meter per second square. Okay. So in this way we are going to find, and you will not simply write. See, most of the students, what mistake they make. I am also giving that example, that what students do, what students are going to do in this case. They will find what most of the students will do. They will just get the value of acceleration mu into normal, so 4 Newton. So they will write it like this: 12 Newton minus 4 Newton divided by mass. So which we have done after showing that they will not move together. But if you do it directly, in many of the cases, you may get a wrong result. I will give you an example. If you do it directly, in many of the cases, you may get a wrong result. So you have to start from here. You have to start it from here. Means first you have to consider the combined motion. Okay, then you will move forward. Now coming to second part, part B. What is part B? In part B, it says that the force is applied on the lower block. So if it is applied on the lower block, like this, if it is applied on the lower block, 12 Newton force is applied on the lower block, the F max will be having same value, that is 4 Newton, which we have already calculated. And the friction now, since it is pulled in forward, the friction will act here in backward direction, and on this object it will be forward direction. Okay, so we can write it like this, and now we will write the, again, same method. Assume joint motion, assume combined motion. Assume combined motion. So first combined motion, if we take, the acceleration will be how much? The total force 12 Newton divided by 2 kg plus 4 kg. m plus m together, capital M, small m together. So we are getting 2 meter per second square. Now this acceleration must be provided by this friction. If we see the upper object is accelerated with this acceleration, and the accelerating force is only friction here. So the friction in this case will be equal to mass of upper object, because the friction is accelerating the upper object, mass of upper object into the acceleration of our upper object. So mass is 2 kg and acceleration is how much? 2 meter per second square. So in this case we are getting 4 Newton. So in this case you can see the 4 Newton is not exceeding the maximum value. You can see the 4 Newton is the maximum, and this is low. The object are not going to slide over each other. They will not slide over each other. They will move together because friction is equal to maximum value. It can have anything less than maximum value. Okay, so combined motion possible. Combined motion is possible. And common acceleration will be 2 meter per second square. So this is the acceleration, common acceleration. This is the common acceleration. So in this way you have to do it. You have to analyze the situation and you have to solve.